Hello everyone, today we're going to have a look at 7.5 and we're going to have a look at Theory B about quadratic equations with brackets. So we're only going to have a look at some examples of quadratic equations and I want you all to write them down because when you're going to do your own homework you can still have a look and you can copy the steps what you did in the examples. Alright, so you could get a question, solve x plus 3 times x plus 1 equals 0. So we know that something times, for instance, x plus 1 equals 0. Then we know that x plus 3 needs to be 0. If we say we've got x plus 3 times something equals 0, then we know that that something needs to be 0 as well. So we know x plus 1 equals 0. Then you're going to use a balance method. So you know x equals minus 3 or x equals minus 1. You may skip the second part while doing your exercises, but you need to write the last step down, of course, because that's your final answer. Alright, exercise B. Sometimes it is necessary to multiply out of brackets. So if I have an equation like this, x plus 1 times x plus 5 equals 5, then I cannot use the method that I did over here. Because over here I can see that it equals 0. And then I can solve it. Because I know something times 0 equals 0. But now I've got an equation that equals 5. So I cannot simply solve it. And therefore, because this is not 0, and therefore you need to multiply out of brackets. So first of all, I'm going to multiply this out of brackets. So I will get x squared plus 5x plus x plus 5 equals 5. Because I did x times x, x times 5, 1 times x, and 1 times 5. I'm going to simplify, so I'm going to add the like terms. And the like terms where the things were the same. So the x's. So I will get x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 5. I want the right side to be 0. So I'm going to use a balance method. I want this to be 0, so I'm going to subtract 5. And what I do on the right side, I need to do on the left side as well, and vice versa. So I will get x squared plus 6x equals 0. Then you need to put your common factor outside the brackets. I know that this x squared exists of x times x, and that 6x exists of 6 times x. The common factor equals x, so x times x plus 6 equals 0. So now I can solve it because the right side is 0. So x equals 0 or x plus 6 equals 0, and therefore your final answer is going to be x equals 0 or x equals minus 6. And again, you may skip this step. Right, exercise C. Again, first check if you need to multiply out of brackets. And in this case, I'm going to check again, is the right side equal to 0? No, it is not, it's 5x, and therefore you need to multiply out of brackets first. So what you're going to do is x times x, that equals x squared, and x times 6 equals 6x. Again, I want the right side to be 0, so I'm going to use the balance method. So I'm going to subtract minus 5x over there and minus 5x over there as well. So I will get x squared plus x equals 0. And of course, you know that secretly there's a 1 standing over there. Again, look if you're going to use the product sum method or the common factor method, and I see that I need to use a common factor because the common factor is x. So I will get x times x plus 1 equals 0. So I know x equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 0 or x equals minus 1. And again, in your test, you may skip this part. Alright, then the last one is exercise D. X plus 1 times x minus 3 equals 12. Again, first have a look if you need to multiply out of brackets. So this is not equal to 0 because it's 12. So I need to multiply out of brackets first. So x times x equals x squared. X times minus 3 equals minus 3. 1 times x equals x. And 1 times minus 3 equals minus 3. So remember that this is equal to 1x. Alright, you need to make everything smaller and add and subtract the like terms. Like terms were the things which are the same. So the minus 3x and the 1x. So I will get x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 12. Again, the right hand side needs to be 0. So I need to use the balance methods. So if I'm going to subtract 12, then I will get minus 15. And now I cannot use the common factor because the 15 does not have an x. So now I need to use the product sum methods. I know that the minus 2 needs to be the sum and the minus 15 is the product. So I'm going to search for two numbers that if I'm going to multiply them, the answer is going to be minus 15. And if I'm going to add them, the answer is going to be minus 2. And it's minus 5 and 3 because minus 5 plus 3 equals minus 2 and minus 5 times 3 equals minus 15. So I know x minus 5 equals 0 or x plus 3 needs to be 0. Again, x equals 5 or x equals minus 3. And you may skip this step. Alright, so these were the 4 examples, and now I want you all to go and do your homework, ask questions if you need them, and good luck.